Hi readers, are you ready for some fun today? Today we will be setting purpose, reading our new engagement story and our new decodable book.
Materials!
Let's get our thinking caps on. Are you ready? Here are today's 3 learning targets. Using evidence from the text, I can answer questions about the story, A Sunset Picnic. I can read high-frequency words and words that don't play fair. And I can read the decodable text, A Sunset Picnic.
Transition song!
It's time to hear a story, a story, a story. It's time to hear a story and say what you've learned.
Read aloud.
Listen carefully as I read our new engagement text, A Sunset Picnic. After the story, we'll talk about it together. Settle in and listen closely to A Sunset Picnic. Sam came home from school and hung his jacket on its hook. He looked at the clock on the kitchen wall. It was only 4 o'clock. 2 hours until dinner. Sam had to admit he was already hungry. Just then, Dad came in the back door. He was wearing a smile and carrying a grocery bag. "Grab a picnic basket," said Dad. "Why?" asked Sam. "You will see," said Dad. "Grab 2 napkins," said Dad. "Why?" asked Sam. "You will see," said Dad. "Grab a blanket," said Dad. "Why?" asked Sam. "You will see," said Dad. "I got a big sandwich from the market," said Dad. "We will split it." "Oh, good," thought Sam. Dad was hungry too. They gathered their picnic and headed out the door. Sam and Dad walked toward their favorite hill in the park. Along the way, Sam could see their shadows ahead of them on the sidewalk. It would soon be dark. He hoped they would still have time for their picnic. Sam and Dad reached the top of the hill just in time to see a beautiful red sunset. Dad called it crimson. Sam had never heard of that word before. "It's another word for red," said Dad. "I see," said Sam. "This is the perfect time to eat our sandwich." Dad spread out the blanket. Then Sam and Dad shared their sandwich. They watched the sun go down and down in the pink and purple sky. After they finished eating, they folded the blanket. They gathered their things to go home. Sam and Dad walked back down the hill toward home. Sam looked up at Dad and said, "That was the best sandwich I have ever had." Dad laughed and said, "Me too, Sam. We will share a sandwich again at sunset together again soon."
Question and answer.
Let's spend a few moments thinking about the story together. Why did Dad ask Sam to go and get a blanket? They needed it to sit on for their picnic. Why did the sky turn pink and purple in the story? The sun was going down and it was sunset. And finally, the text says, Dad reached the top of the hill just in time to see a beautiful red sunset. He said it was crimson. What did Dad say was crimson? That's right. The sunset was crimson. And what does crimson mean? Yes, crimson is another word for red.
Transition song.
Now it's time to learn high frequency words together. It's time to learn the words readers and writers use a lot.
Word work.
Let's look at some new high frequency words that we will use a lot when writing and that we will see a lot in books. This first word does not play fair. It looks like was, but this is the word was. When we see this word in our reading, it is pronounced was. Here is another high frequency word that does not play fair. This word is they. If I use it in a sentence, I could say, they are going to pick apples. You'll see the word they in our story today. Here is another high frequency word you'll see today. This one doesn't play fair either. This word is you. We've talked about how the vowel team OU can say ow, but not with this word. This one is you. Look at this next word. In our story, we heard Sam ask his dad, why? Why? Over and over again. This word does play fair. It has the sly Y at the end. Why? And finally, our last high frequency word is said. Said is a really tricky high frequency word because we hear the eh sound in the middle, but it's actually spelled S-A-I-D. You will see this word a lot in our story today. Let's work on locking these high frequency words into our brains. You can do it.
Read aloud.
This story is based on one that we read together earlier, A Sunset Picnic. It's filled with lots of words that you can read. Some of the words you'll see for the first time, but don't worry. The words you'll see for the first time are words with closed syllables. We just need to break them into each syllable and then decode each syllable at a time. Then we can blend the syllables together to read the word. As we read, you can also search for our new high frequency words. Was, they, you, why, and said. Remember, you can touch your nose when you hear one. Let's get reading. Grab a picnic basket, said Dad. Why? Asked Sam. You will see, said Dad. Are there any new high frequency words on this page? Said, why, you, and said. Grab 2 napkins, said Dad. Why? Said Sam. You will see, said Dad. Were there any new high frequency words on this page? Said, why, said, you, and said. Grab a blanket, said Dad. Why? Said Sam. You will see, said Dad. What words did you spot here? Said. Why? Said. You. And said. I got a big sandwich from the market, said Dad. We will split it. Did you spot a few words on this page? There's just one. Said. Dad and Sam got to the hill. They saw the red sunset. Dad said it was crimson. I see, said Sam. What high-frequency words did you spot here? That's right. They, said, was, and said. Thank you for helping me read this new decodable book. You did an amazing job.
Closing reflection.
What tools did you use to help you read our new story today, A Sunset Picnic? I hope you are thinking about decoding and finding those new high-frequency words along the way. Go ahead and kiss your brain. I look forward to some more learning together during our next lesson. See you soon!